Well, welcome back, everyone, and I am pleased to be joined in studio this evening by senior captain from the golf team, Jared Shea. How are you, sir? Welcome.
Good. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you coming in. You know, I've been talking to some of the guys here tonight. We talked to soccer a little while ago, and you know, you just had to be excited knowing that your golf season was going to happen this year with all that's going on. That must have been kind of a nice little piece of news. What were your thoughts once you learned that golf was actually going to take place this fall?
Yeah, so unfortunately my junior year for lacrosse got canceled, but I was really looking forward to playing golf this fall. And I was kind of, you know, playing the entire summer figuring we were going to play. Yeah. Not really understanding what capacity, but once Coach Allen called me, told me the news, I couldn't have been more ecstatic. I was just really excited to be able to play and that the MIA really figured something out for us. Right. So just made me want to get back on the course even more, to be honest.
You know, there were a lot of rule changes across the board for all fall sports this year, and golf was no exception. In terms of some of the changes that happened that you guys had to face this year, I know you had fewer teams that you played against. And one of the interesting things was that instead of a mixed group going off, you and your partner versus, you know, the opponents, it was groups of Norwood players playing together, and then, for example, if you're playing Dedham, groups of Dedham players playing together. What was that like this year? Having, you know, again, you're playing with your teammates, which is fun, but there's no really kind of like direct competition, you know, on the same hole, so to speak.
Yeah, so definitely a weird way of doing it this year. In years past, you know, when we play Westwood, I'll go out with another individual teammate from Norwood, and we'll play against two guys from Westwood. Right. And this year, it was just me and three guys from Norwood going out, four guys from Westwood, four guys from Norwood, and then four guys from Westwood. Yeah. So that's how it went. It oddly felt like practice at some times. Sure. Looking back on it, usually I have a good ability to remember certain matches that I played, certain holes, certain shots, but looking back, I can't really remember if they're practices or they were matches or not. So definitely strange, but my ability to help my teammates was enhanced because, you know, in years past, I could only talk to and help out my teammates, just one of them, basically. But I had three of them in my group, so I was able to read their putts, you know, help them with anything they needed to get helped on, and I think we did a good job of helping each other out and making the most of it, to be honest. Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's interesting because from a play standpoint, at least when you were playing, for example, with you and a teammate and the two guys from Westwood, you would probably have a general sense of where you stood, you know, score-wise with the other two guys from Westwood because you're right there. Yeah. How did it work this year? If you're coming to and you finish up the 8th hole, do you really have a sense of how Westwood's doing because you're just in your group? I mean, how do you know where you guys stand during the course of a match?
So before a match, we usually have a general sense of how we're going to stack up with them. But, you know, when we're on the course in years past, it's pretty easy. All I do is, you know, look down at my scorecard. It's like, oh, we're 3 back, 3 up. Right. And then, you know, Coach Allen will come up to me. He's like, oh, this group's, you know, down, this group's up. But this year, it was kind of weird. Yeah. I would kind of just tell him, like, okay, our group is cumulatively 3 over. And he would follow guys from Dover, Sherborne, and, you know, whoever we were playing. And he always comes up and, oh, we're up by this much, we're up by that much, it's going to be close. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's his favorite saying. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a close one. Yeah, so in that sense, he just tells everyone to keep grinding it out. Yep. Every shot counts, like we saw in a few matches this year. Oh, yeah. So general sense, this year we had no clue. Yeah. You know, teams could have been blown up, and we couldn't have
You wouldn't know.
So. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You know, we were also talking just before we came on that one of the changes, unfortunately, about having, you know, fewer teams and fewer matches meant, unfortunately, fewer courses that you played at this year. And, again, Norwood Country Club is our home course, and it's been that way, and it's quite a nice setup. But there were a couple places that you guys could have had the chance to play it this year.
Absolutely.
And so tell us where you could have had the chance to play.
So this year, I was really excited this year. This year, we were supposed to play TPC Boston, Dedham Country and Polo, and Hopkinton Country Club, and all 3 private courses.
Yeah.
TPC Boston, obviously a tremendous course.
Right.
But when they came out and said that it wasn't going to be traditionally TVL large versus TVL small,
Right.
it was going to be 6 teams, 6 East teams to 6 West teams that were just going to be playing in their sort of bubble.
Yeah.
So we kind of missed out on the opportunity to play TPC Boston and Hopkinton, and we ended up playing more matches at Sassamont Trace and Norwood Country Club.
Yeah.
Which is an unfortunate trade-off
Right.
in itself, but we had home
course advantage. Yes.
So we ended up playing, I think, 6 matches at home and 4 away.
Yeah.
So I get a little bright side to that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We were also talking with the change of the way the season was set up. We knew there was no state tournament this year, so there's really no qualifying for players and teams. Knowing that when you come into the season, does that affect kind of how you approach a season? Knowing that there may not be a tournament, so every game is every match is probably you got to play it all out anyway.
Yeah, so I think on a team level and an individual level, it was definitely a different type of season. I think the way Coach Allen really coached this year was same mentality, going out there to win.
Right.
We want to go 10-0. We want to win this match. We want to win that match. We want to win as much as we can because he's a competitive guy and we have a lot of competitive people on the team. So we wanted to do that. So there wasn't really a team aspect to it, which was that much different. Just go out there and go as low as you can, keep grinding it out. And on an individual level, my goal every year is to, go and make the state championship and go as low as I can and see what happens.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bummed to hear that I wasn't going to, get my chance or opportunity my senior year to go out there and, prove that I belong out there.
Yeah.
And another aspect to it, team-wise, was that there wasn't any TVL, league MVP.
Yeah.
So, I was just trying to go out there and shoot as low as I can
There you go.
and, see if I can match up with my buddies.
Right. You mentioned the record. Obviously, you come in looking to go undefeated, as every team does. Didn't happen, but if you look at the record itself for Norwood this year, 4-6, which is a good solid record because again there are some quality teams that we play in the TVLs. We know, including I think the last match, which was a 1-stroke loss to Medfield, if I looked at the scoring correctly. And again, I'm not much of a golfer. I don't even use the word golf in my game. But that had to be kind of a tough way to end it. You're that close. And you and I were talking about the Medfield match before we came on the air. What kind of happened there? Yeah,
so definitely a great way to end my last match my senior year. But so basically we came in, and every group came in, and we were doing the scorecards and everything. And it turns out we lost by 2. And the first group that went out, Medfield kid, put it over the net, reteed for 3, put it over the net again, reteed for 5, put it in
that sounds like mine.
That sounds like me. Yeah. Put in the lateral hazard. So he was hitting like 7 from in the woods, and he marked down an 8. And my coach was like a little suspect about that, and he asked him, he's like, "Oh yeah, actually got a 9." So we actually lost by 1.
Right.
And then we looked at another scorecard, and it was a 39 instead of a 40, and we're like, what's going on here? You shot 4 over, not 3 over. He's like, oh yeah, my bad. I signed it wrong, which usually you'd be disqualified. But, this year was a little bit different just because nothing really mattered too much. We ended up tying, which was interesting. Usually it goes to a card off after that, which would be the 7th score for each team. But Coach Allen and the coach from Medfield are really good buddies, and they kind of looked at each other and they're like, you want to send the captains out for a playoff hole?
Oh,
And
there
they're
you
like,
go.
sure.
Yeah.
So me and my other captain and the 2 captains from Medfield went out and played a playoff hole.
Oh, that's great.
And I think they went like 1 under and we went even, so they ended
Oh.
up winning. But it was really cool.
Oh, that's a great way to end. Yeah,
it was really
that
fun.
is a great way to end it. Yeah,
And
that's
everyone
that's
was
kinda fun.
following us.
Yeah.
Like social distance,
Right,
of course.
of
but
course.
It was really cool. It was just really fun.
That is a great way to.
And one of my friends caddied for me, so it was pretty cool.
That's right. You have your own little gallery now
Yeah,
as they
exactly.
follow you along. That's a great way. That's a great idea on their part. Good for them and good for you guys. You know, what was interesting too about golf this year is that they had the JV team this year. And I know Mike Maloof here for NCM helped out at the JV level. And it's one of the first times we've had, you know, JV golf, which I think bodes well because the more you can get out and play, it's only going to improve your game. What are your thoughts in terms of the future of Norwood golf, having had these kids on the JV team being able to play, a fall season to kind of get ready for maybe next year?
Yeah, definitely a great thing that happened to the golf program this year. I got cut my freshman year on the golf team. I decided to play soccer instead. And sometimes thinking if we had a JV team my freshman year and I played on it, I just like to think how much further ahead I would be in my golf development.
Yeah.
And it feels like something we've been talking about for quite a while. Getting a JV team, we're going to push for it this year, push for it. And it was really cool to see it finally come to fruition and actually get that JV team this year. Because I feel like the problem with last year, we had 18 kids on the team and only 8 playing matches. Sometimes, he can get another tee time and have 12, but
Yeah.
having that JV team, I think they ended up playing 6 or 8 matches
Right.
or something like that. And it's really good experience for them to go out and play competitive golf. And I think it's going to propel them to do better, be better. And going forward, they're going to be ready to produce for the varsity level.
Right. Yeah. It's neat to see those kind of numbers, to be able to have enough, guys and gals on our golf team where you can support both a varsity and a JV squad. I like you're right. I think it's going to bode extremely well for the future. You're a senior. You managed, again, I would think a playoff hole was kind of fun. If you had to cap off that senior year, that'd be kind of a fun way to do it, given all that's going on. Looking back now, your 3 years there of golf, missing out on your freshman year, but finishing up for those 3 years, what do you kind of take away from your golf career here up at the high school?
That's a great question. I just think being an underclassman, a sophomore on the golf team, there was a lot of guys my sophomore year that just really helped me out, just made playing golf so much fun.
Yeah.
Going to practice, going to matches, it was awesome. And once they graduated and I became the captain my junior year, I wanted to do the same thing and help out the sophomores and freshmen and give back basically because they helped me out so much.
Right.
And looking back, there's always matches where you could say, oh, I wish I shot a little bit better. I could have done this, could have done that, but high school golf was just awesome.
That's awesome.
Every season was just so fun.
Good.
Even practices, playing at Norwood, not the greatest course.
Yeah, but
but
still.
just playing with a lot of really good friends.
Yeah.
was awesome.
Well, that's so refreshing to hear because I hate to say this, but time does go by awfully quickly, and to be able to look back on whether it's a school career, whether academic, drama, sports, whatever, to look back on it with fondness is so very important. So I'm glad that you will have all of those memories to it. We talked about being a senior and what your future plans are, and you kind of mentioned something interesting about what you might be doing next year. What is that?
Yeah, so I definitely want to go play college golf somewhere. Definitely a weird process for Norwood High because I don't think, to my knowledge, I don't think anyone's ever signed a letter of intent to play golf in college. So hopefully I can be the first one. That'd be pretty cool.
Right.
I just think with the nature of everything, I had so many visits scheduled over the summer to meet with golf coaches and meet the teams and what have you, and that got pushed back to the fall. And then things didn't really get too much better. They got pushed back to right around now.
Yeah.
So I just think with the nature of everything right now, everything going on, I wasn't in any position to commit to a school academically or athletically.
Right.
So I think we're going to apply to schools I want to go to that are academic
Yeah.
fit for me.
Yep.
And we're going to reevaluate the situation come springtime. So I am leaning towards taking a gap year
Right.
and reclassing with the class of 22.
Yep.
Because the biggest thing for me is I'm going to school for my academics.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to play, Division I golf.
Right. Right. Yep.
So basically, I don't want to be spending X amount of money in the fall just to learn from a dorm room. Hopefully everything's
Yep.
okay by next fall.
Knocking wood.
But
Yes.
yeah, I think a gap year is a great idea for me. I can work on my game. I can make some money.
Yep.
So going forward, I think I'm definitely leaning towards that idea.
I don't think you're going to be alone in that. I think there's,
absolutely.
but I think the idea, like you said, if golf is something that at any level, at the next level, obviously the more time you can kind of dedicate to working on your game, it can only hopefully pay off dividends for you. So so when you do sign with that D1 school and then hit the PGA, you'll still come back and remember us and talk to us, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, we'll have you on if once you win the Masters.
Awesome.
You can bring your green jacket with you.
Cool. I'll let you try it on.
I appreciate it. Jared, again, congratulations on a fantastic golf career. I know we still have the winter to go, and Coach Allen, and more things to do this winter, hopefully. But congratulations on your golf career, and this season a little different, a little tougher. But it sounds like all things considered, you just had a great time.
Yeah, I did. So thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming in tonight. Really do. Jared Shea, senior captain of the golf team. We will be right back after these messages.